So I'm going to actually do this in a 3-part series because I'm going to actually go inside the teaching at different levels. So first I'll go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Rachel Anderberg. I'm a mom of 5 kids and 4 that are homeschool age. So this year that we'll be going into, I'll have a 1st grader, a 3rd grader, a 5th grader, and a 7th grader. The Logic of English is basically a 2-part program that I have discovered. You can go and do one. Go upstairs. It's a 2-part program. So I gotta see if I can make sure it's coming up here. 1 second. There we go. Okay, it is. So it is a 2-part program. It has your foundations. Oops, excuse me. I'll grab all my books here. It is, I have to lift it up. Foundations A through D. And technically, you could, it depends on where your kid's at. You could do a foundations A and B and then move on into essentials. There is a volume 1 that is this part, and they actually made this book 2 separate books now. And then there is a volume 2, and this can be used as a group. So you can have multiple levels in this. There's just different worksheets that they would do at different levels. So there's an A, B, and C level. And so the A, they would all do A worksheets, and then the B would do all the worksheets plus the B, and then the C would do all the worksheets. So if you were to buy, let's say that you're going to start out with Foundations A. Foundations A, the whole pack would come with your teacher's manual. It will come with a Doodling Dragons alphabet book, and then your workbook. And then you would also get, you can get it in cursive or manuscript. You get to choose. So you would get your tactile cards. So they're just little sandpaper cards on how to make letters. And then you would get some tiles. They're little game tiles. And you would also get 2 different little cards like this. If you would either get a book font, you get 2 of them, so you get a book font and a handwritten font, or if you chose cursive, you would get, I think, a handwritten font, maybe a book font, and the cursive font is what you would get with those. And then you also get, put those in there, any of the cards you need. So usually you would get the set of your basic phonogram flashcards. And if there was any spelling rules cards, then you would get those. It just depends on what level you go at, what cards you get when you buy the whole set. When you start getting up into the B levels, and up through, you get little readers that come with it. The readers that you get with this are in the back of the book with the Foundation A. So they have little ones that you take out and fold in half, and that is their readers. So B and then C has the readers with it, plus their phonogram book. And then there's extra books that you can get that the Miles and Jack, and they will have actual stuff in the teacher's manual about it, when to read that. And then in the level C, there will be a whole bunch of additional readers that I do. If you don't have these books, I recommend getting, because they will have a process at the end where they will read the book, and they will kind of a writing comprehension type thing about it. So that is the foundations pack that, you can, at different levels, you can get it. Turn this down. At different levels, you can get it. And so I started, like I said, my son was a second grader, and we were struggling with some phonics. And so I found this program, and we started at the level A with him. He was able to do A and B in 1 year. My daughter, who was actually in public school kindergarten, I pulled her out halfway through the year, and she was able to complete A and B in that half of a year. And so then they both moved into essentials together. And I probably pushed them a little too far in the essentials. The essentials comes with your spelling rules, your grammar cards. You will also get your morpheme cards. That would be, your Greek, Latin words. And there's a rule for everything. For every spelling, they show the rules. There is all the grammar cards that you need. And when you learn a phonogram, and I'm going to show you an example of this, even at level A, like if you were learning the letter A, you're not going to just learn the short sound. You're going to learn that A says a, ah. That's what they're going to learn. So this has the essentials, both volumes have, so it would be, there is 30 lessons here in both altogether. They broke it down by lessons, but there will be 3 different levels. So A, B, and C level. Now with my daughter, who is going into 3rd grade, she has a little bit more trouble with reading. So we went ahead and continued with foundation C and D. And then she will jump in to essentials with the kids. And I can reuse this for each year for the next level. And then they also have, that goes along with the essentials, is the essential readers. And then they have a essential readers workbook that they would read their story, and then they would go through, they have words at the beginning. And then they also have, the rhythm of writing, and you can do manuscript or cursive. They have it both. And it just teaches a rhythm in your writing. So an example, and you would get this with your kit. Like if you bought the whole D kit, you would get all the books that you need, the teacher's manual, all the cards you need. You would get your marker board. And I believe you can purchase it without it if you've already bought previous ones. You also get a game book. And so we play a lot of games, and my kids really enjoy the games. That's probably the funnest part. We play, there's a whole bunch of different games you can play. And so the rhythm of writing, it talks about, you have your swing letters. And you say swing up to the midline, down to the baseline, pick up your pencil and dot. That would be for the letter I. And so it gives a rhythm of writing, and you can teach them to write without singing the actual word because of how they have that set up. I really chose this program because of the way that it was taught. I was taught in school sight reading or memorization reading. I was a product of that time where, they would have a picture of a banana and the word banana, and that's how you would learn to read. They did not introduce phonics until I was in the 6th grade. Well, by that time, I basically knew how to read for the most part. And then fast forward into my 5th year of college. It took me 6 years to get through college. I had a lot of fun. I was in my Ag Econ class, and I failed my test, which was nothing new to me. And so my ag econ teacher, he was like, I need to talk to you after class. So I went and talked to him, and he said, what's going on? And I was like, I just don't do tests. I never have. And he said, do you have test anxiety? And I said, me? And he was, well, true. I'm not a person that has anxiety. And so he's like, I want you to go get tested for a learning disability, because he called my other teachers at my old college, and because he knew some of them, and he's like, yeah, she just doesn't do tests. And so I went and got tested for a learning disability, and I had a reading, writing, and spelling level of a 6th grader. And so everything else was fine. It was just that they think it was because I wasn't taught phonics. And so, you know, I was going to school to be an agronomist, and I had big words to spell that, you know, used Latin and Greek terms, or, you know, that was part of the spelling. And really, in actuality, a lot of them follow the phonemic sounds if I would have learned them. So they just kind of gave me a new way to study for the test and a new way to learn, which helped me. They said I could always learn phonics if I wanted to, but I didn't want to. So that helped me excel very well in school, where I continued, you know, I was finally able to get A's and B's in school. So that's why I chose this program. I am now learning phonics. I am, you know, I don't struggle as much with spelling. My kids, my 2 older kids who are going to be 7th grade and 5th grade, I will say are better spellers than me, which that's great. So that's kind of, I'll show you inside of a lesson, and I'm actually going to do, so the next video right after this, I will do Foundations A, like working through the actual curriculum with a child, and then the lesson in Foundations D, and working through that. And then I'll do another video with the older kids, or one of them, with the essentials and how that actually looks in the classroom, because I think it is a very rigorous program. Let's see. We'll go with, oops, I'm making a mess over here. The Foundations B. So you would start out with, like, here's lesson 41, and they have everything kind of, the materials you need in each lesson, which they provide you with all the materials for the most part. Here's all the phonogram, the sounds that they make, and then just kind of the scope and sequences at the very beginning. So it kind of tells you like what lessons are there. And so I will go to the first lesson. So the first lesson is lesson 41, and it will tell you your objectives are to review short and long vowel sounds, multi-letter phonograms. So you're going to learn what SH says. You're going to be writing the uppercase S, and then your spelling words, the materials that you need. So these are the cards that you're going to need. And then the options, like an optional type thing. And so it'll just go through like what you say, what your students, what the answer should be from your students. And it just goes through each of their worksheets. It'll tell you when you get to like a 41.2, that means it's a worksheet. And so you would tell them to do their worksheet. On the essentials, it's basically set up the same way. Teacher tips. Gotta find a lesson here. Lesson 5. So here's what lesson 5 looks like. And so it'll tell you your concepts, and it'll say that all are going to learn this. You're going to learn what A and A say. So the AI and the AY. And they know, like when they say AI, they're going to say it's a 2-letter A that cannot be used at the end of an English word, because English words do not end in I, U, V, or J. So it'll just go through the whole lessons that they learn. And so So an advanced phonogram, that would be for just level C. Exploring sounds would be all of them. Then they learn a spelling rule. And then they have like a building words, a spelling journal, and then they will have like the different levels of their spelling test or their spelling words. We don't usually do a test because they understand it well enough that they get it spelled right the first time. So there's 3 different levels of spelling. And then you go into your review of phonograms you've learned. And then you go into grammar and the words of action. And then it will go to more of the like the morpheme verbs, like you would do different levels. And then you check your understanding, which would be kind of your test. So that's kind of how that works, the scope and sequence. And like I said, I will do a physical, virtual, basically, where I'll teach my child how it actually works, or I'll teach them, and you guys can watch how that works. So thanks for watching. And if you guys have any questions or comments, just let me know. We've been using this curriculum for 5 years now. So we've really enjoyed it. Yeah, 5 years. So thanks for watching, and we will see you back here in, I think, about 2:40. So thanks for watching.